Welcome to the channel. Yes, it is that time of year again. Not only is it WrestleMania week, with WWE presenting WrestleMania 41 this coming weekend, this coming Saturday and Sunday. WrestleMania 41 will take place at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm really looking forward to this. It should be a heck of an event, and obviously, it is, of course, time for the traditional WrestleMania predictions. Which, honestly, this is just a bit of fun. If I'm right, then I'm right. If I'm completely wrong and off the mark with some of these results that I and predictions that I have, then that is fine. It's just a bit of fun. If I get them completely wrong, all of them wrong, then hey, I'm not too bothered. I might actually look through YouTube and see a few of these prediction videos this year. But it is fantastic. Really looking forward to it. WrestleMania this coming weekend. I won't be able to actually watch the whole of night 2 live, certainly not night 2 due to work commitments, but when I get back I will ASAP sit down and watch that. It's a bit annoying, but that's the way that the scheduling works out this year, unfortunately. But I am really looking forward to this. There are currently 13 matches announced for WrestleMania 41. Now, there might be a match or two added in a pre show capacity, which I would kind of like to see them do it. They don't seem to do it very much these days, unfortunately. Even with WrestleMania, they don't tend to have many pre-show matches. But I would love to see one of those matches actually added to the card. There are so many talents that have surely been deserving. Chelsea Green, for example, to be some part of WrestleMania. So these are also not potentially going to be in the order that they might happen. I've taken the list from Wikipedia. I've just checked the list that it still says the same list of matches. WWE yesterday, as I record this on Wednesday, on Tuesday, so yesterday, WWE released basically what they said is the final card on a YouTube video. So this is not these predictions are not necessarily going to be in the order that the matches will happen. They may happen in a completely different order, but generally I think the matches should happen on the night that they are listed for again, April 19th and 20th respectively. Although again, really the 20th and 21st in the UK and other places around the world where the time difference is enough to do that. So certainly let's go through firstly night one again in the order that is listed on Wikipedia. Firstly, the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, will defend the World Tag Team Championship against the New Day, the team of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. This is one where it really kicks off with the fact that I feel that this might be a changing of the guard WrestleMania. I've seen WrestleManias in the past and other premium live events where I say changing of the guard. What I mean by that is I think a few championships might very well change hands. And sometimes you get those odd pay-per-views where WWE is almost like, let's change things up entirely, and you got several championships changing hands on the one show. And I have a little bit of a feeling that this might be the case this weekend with WrestleMania 41. So I'm going to go and kick it off with the New Day winning this match and becoming the new World Tag Team Champions. They've not held any tag team championships for a while. I think it's been a few years actually, so at least a couple of years. And so I kind of get the feeling, especially with the concentration that they've had on the New Day, the exposure that they've had, and they've been constantly featured on WWE programming. I get the feeling that the New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods might very well walk out of WrestleMania Night 1 as the new World Tag Team Champions. Match 2 is listed as Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Yeah, it's just such a shame that Chad Gable didn't make it into the WrestleMania card either. There's another guy that could very well have featured easily either of the nights of WrestleMania. But certainly his good friend or Maybe, good friend, we don't know. El Grande Americano makes the card with Rey Mysterio proclaiming that he will unmask and find the true identity of El Grande Americano, which, honestly, for a luchador to do, that seems a bit weird. For him to deliberately say he's going to unmask El Grande Americano when this isn't even a so-called lucha apuesta or betting match. It's not a mask versus mask match or mask versus hair or anything like that. And I'm going to mix up here because I actually want El Grande Americano to win. I think he's a very entertaining wrestler. I actually loving this bit, and so I don't want it to see it very short term. I'd like to see this continue on a little bit. So either way, I'm just going to go. I could see Ray winning, but for my prediction's sake, I'm going to go El Grande Americano stealing the victory in some way, pulling the tights, clinging onto the ropes, maybe both. I want El Grande Americano to come out the victor in this one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi, another singles match. This match, I kind of have to just really go with Jade Cargill for this. She's come over from AEW. Yes, she got injured, which kind of led to the kind of story of her being laid out. I believe she was genuinely injured. They haven't really pushed her as much since she came in. She did get a few good matches up with Naomi and Bianca. They teaming up together. I think it was Bianca. Uh, she was certainly had a couple of good friends and they really pushed Jade at that point. I think they really have to try, especially this coming summer and post WrestleMania. I think they should really try and push Jade. Okay, she's not the best worker in the world, who is, but I would like Jade Cargill to take the victory in this. Maybe the feud continues, but I would like to see them try and push and make something out of Jade Cargill. The following match is LA Knight, yes. Oh, yeah, I know. But LA Knight, yeah, versus Jacob Fatu for LA Knight's WWE United States Championship. This is another one where I can firmly see a championship changing hands. LA Knight's a great wrestler and he's very entertaining. A lot of people have been complaining about the fact that WWE, which is, technically it really always has been, that people respond to catchphrases like yeet and yeah and all these kind of catchphrases and what and everything like that. People in WWE have always had that. The sports entertainment, the WWE have always had that. They've actually always encouraged the wrestlers to be kind of a gimmick up a little bit and have a catchphrase if they can. And I actually would really like to see Jacob Fatu in this match win the United States Championship. I do firmly believe that they are going to revisit or continue the Bloodline story at one point or another. They've kind of put it on the back burner a little bit, but I think that Jacob Fatu taking the United States Championship at WrestleMania from LA Knight would certainly make a statement. So I'm going for Jacob Fatu to win the United States Championship in this one. I definitely think that is a good potential match for, especially in this event, for WWE to try and capitalize on somebody and trying to start to push them. People have been saying about Jacob Fatu that he's a guy that could have quite a few WrestleMania moments, and I think this might be the first. The following match, or the next matchup, is Tiffany Stratton defending the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. This is honestly one of the ones that has got me a little bit unsure of really picking the winner, to be honest. Tiffy time has really just begun, but I know there's been rumours, and there's always rumours and stuff about Charlotte Flair, about her coming back, and she tends to do it. She comes back and wins the championship and kind of rules WWE again, takes her kind of throne as the queen once more. She doesn't. She's done that so many times when she's come back. I know she had a bit of a difficult time personally lately, and that's not really any of my business or any of other people's business, to be honest. I know there's been a lot of talk about that as well. I'm going to go, although I say titles to change hands, I like to see Tiffy time continue. I think build on Tiffy as the champion, have her beat somebody in whatever manner to beat Charlotte in some way, and really kind of build upon this feud. It doesn't necessarily need to be a Charlotte rollover at WrestleMania to reclaim her spot. Make Charlotte fight for it at least. So I'm actually going to go for Tiffany Stratton to retain the WWE Women's Championship. I don't think she's had really time uh, to have kind of hone her act completely. So I would certainly go for Tiffy time to continue. I don't think her time's run out quite yet. Yeah, again, typical kind of Charlotte comes back and wins the title. I can firmly see that potentially happening, but I would hope it doesn't on this occasion. The penultimate match for night one, again, is April 19th, so this Saturday night, is for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it is Gunther versus Jey Uso. Gunther, obviously the reigning and defending World Heavyweight Champion. This one as well, another one that I've never been really too sure what direction WWE should go down in terms of the championship reign. This is one as well. If you are, a long time wrestling fan, especially in WWE, and especially when they first had the roster splits and the multi-brand events when it was Raw and SmackDown, especially WrestleManias and stuff. Sometimes, if a one heavyweight championship changed hands, you would quite often think, well, maybe the other world championship won't. And I kind of have that feeling as well for this one. I am really not sure that if one changes hands on night one, that night two necessarily will actually change hands. But honestly, for this, I just this morning and especially last night, I'm going to go with Jey Uso. I said about titles changing hands, and I firmly believe that several of them will. But I I think the only route, to be honest, and the better route for WWE to make somebody and to not leave, not to, they built up Jey Uso basically from before the Royal Rumble with the Yeet thing and everything like that. He's been again catchphrases and stuff like that. Jey has been built up. Main event Jey Uso. He's been built up. He's very popular. Everybody loves to do the Yeet stuff. He's certainly getting a lot of attention. They built him up very well. He had a great Royal Rumble, obviously, winning that match and going on to WrestleMania. I don't think taking the world title off Gunther would be too much of a harm for him, although I personally wouldn't like to see it. I can see maybe some interference, maybe again the bloodline stuff coming back, maybe I can see it in both world title matches, honestly, some involvement with the bloodline influencing the outcome, so I could maybe see something happening to try and get a bloodline member with a world title. Maybe there'll be interference, maybe there won't. I kind of think there might be in this one. So I'm going to go Jey Uso to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I think, again, Gunther is such a talent, such a great wrestler. Yeah, it's going to harm him a little bit to lose the world title at WrestleMania, the biggest stage. But I think if they can pull off a really good match, which I hope it is, I really hope this is a good match. I'm not too confident that this will be the greatest match, but I think Jey Uso might walk out of WrestleMania as the new World Heavyweight Champion. It is a way to build him up. I think that might be the outcome of that one anyway. The main event of night one. This is actually a really good story. The forget battle for custody of Dominic Mysterio all those years ago, which was, I think it was a bit of a weird, but if you look back on it now, a little bit of an entertaining feud. It's a shame that so many of the Raws and stuff are not on Netflix right now, and the Smackdowns and stuff, because I don't think the story is there in terms of you can't look back on years ago, and watched that whole thing unfold. It was a bit weird at the time, I thought that, but forget that. The battle over Paul Heyman. This has been something that, obviously, with the real life connections here, Punk, since he went into OVW, I think it was, uh, connected with Heyman. Heyman reportedly was literally showing him how to do TV and wrestling production, and Punk would sit in with the editing and, you know, learn about stuff from Heyman, genuinely connected. So this has been, obviously, with Paul Heyman being Roman Reigns' wise man, this has been quite a pretty decent story. And actually, if you play WWE 2K25, Heyman does a decent job, quite good job actually, of the whole Bloodline showcase thing. And you can, obviously, through the years, you see his history with the whole Bloodline. This is Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, with Paul Heyman, because that is supposedly the favour, against Seth Rollins. So it's a triple threat match: Reigns versus CM Punk versus Rollins. This one is difficult, honestly, to pick out the winner as well. I've been going back and forward with this one. Again, typical triple threat rules. Maybe Reigns takes out Punk, or Punk take out Reigns, and Rollins can slide in and take advantage of it and eke out the victory with both of them taking out each other. But then I've thought maybe Roman Reigns tries to go after Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins, you know, or one of them, either interferes or accidentally costs somebody who's trying to win the match. Maybe Rollins gets in the way, or Punk gets in the way when Reigns is trying to take down Rollins, or whatever. There's so many different outcomes to this match potentially, and I'm forcing myself to pick one. And quite honestly, I want to go CM Punk on this one. I want this again. This Heyman stuff is really entertaining. I'm really enjoying it. And so I think if you have Punk maybe at the end of WrestleMania Night 1, because this is guaranteed to be the main event, the last match of Night 1, I think if you have Punk smiling, and kind of sneering at Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman obviously forced a little bit to be by his side. I don't know whether we'll see Paul Heyman. I think they shouldn't have Paul Heyman pick a side completely. I don't think that Heyman should kind of turn on Roman, or you know deliberately go with Punk. I don't think that would suit the situation. I think they have to play it on a little bit. I don't know whether we'll get. I mean, it's kind of wrestling obvious booking that, saying that Heyman would turn on Roman and side with Punk. I don't think they need to do that. I think that, honestly, Heyman should be kind of still pushed and pulled in different directions, and obviously have a fallout from WrestleMania that he's been forced basically to be in Punk's corner for WrestleMania, but then post WrestleMania he's back, with Roman Reigns as the wise man, and there's fallout from that and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with CM Punk, for the win, for that triple threat of Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, because I would love to see the imagery of CM Punk with Paul Heyman by his side, kind of forced, but sneering and sniggering at Roman Reigns at the end of the night, with Roman having that look at maybe against the ropes towards the entranceway. CM Punk obviously kind of backing up the entranceway, pulling Paul Heyman maybe beside him, and Punk just sneering at Reigns, and Reigns going like, "Oh, unbelievable! What are what are you kind of doing? And you cost me the match, Punk. You cost me, you know, a way to establish myself once again, winning this match." So certainly, I would kind of want to see CM Punk winning that one. So that's night one, April 19th, again this coming Saturday, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Both night one and night two obviously happen in the same location. So let's go on to night two. 6 matches announced for this. Honestly, these matches I'm not Although I will want to come in and sit and watch night two as soon as I can. Honestly, I'm not as invested in a few of these matches as I could be. I mean, they're certainly night two's matches. A couple of them, I'm not hugely invested in myself. Firstly, the first match of the night, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez will defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. That one, again, I have a little bit of feeling a championship switch. I'm going to go Bayley and Lyra Valkyria to win the the WWE Women's Tag Team, no, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I think there is I think there is a Women's World Tag Team Champions, isn't there? Well, anyway, I think Bayley and Lyra Valkyria will win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship from Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez on the first match of night two. Again, these are not necessarily in order, they're just in the order that Wikipedia lists them, so we might have to see the order might be switched a little bit, but that's that for that match anyway. I think Bayley and Lyra will win. The second match listed is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. It's listed as just a singles match right now. I know in Logan Paul there might be some outside stuff, and it's kind of protect Logan Paul quite often. It's not quite a straightforward singles match. I'm really not a fan of Logan Paul. I don't think much of him as a human being, as an individual. His matches are rehearsed apparently, and he kind of knows them weeks in advance, which I wouldn't be too surprised on. I'm going to quickly go AJ Styles in this match. I don't like him, Logan Paul. I think he may very well potentially take the victory. But honestly, yeah, I've followed AJ for years. I would like AJ to win this match. I can see him losing it, but for the predictions, I'm going to go AJ Styles. Whether I'm right or wrong on this one, I'm not too bothered, but I would like to see AJ, just for the sake of it, win. Logan Paul's made noises about championships and stuff in WWE. I don't think he's deserving of it. I don't like him, but you know, uh, certainly, I hope AJ wins. The third match listed for night two is the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which sees Braun Breaker defend the championship against Penta, against Finn Balor, versus Dominic Mysterio. This one as well, I've had a little bit of difficult time, a little bit picking out who exactly I want to go and win that championship. Honestly, as a huge Steiner Brothers fan, um, it's been great, honestly, to see the leaps and bounds that Braun Breaker has made from NXT now on the main roster. He is legitimately, um, you know, definitely got potential main eventer on his in front of him. Really, he has definitely got the potential to be someone who I think could handled right and honed his craft carefully. Braun definitely could be a future champion. I think he is one of the young pups in WWE right now, and hopefully he will grow into his much bigger paws that he has. I do think he definitely has that potential. I'm going to go though, just for the sake of it, because I could see honestly all four of these winning. I'm going to go Penta because I think that would be an excellent international kind of attention thing to have Penta win the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not too sure it'll happen. I could see honestly Braun or Finn maybe win the match. Um, to be honest, if I had to pick two top people that I think could win the match, but for this, I'm going to go with my heart instead of my head, and I'm going with Penta. Yes, He's new in WWE. Some people might think I'm jumping on the bandwagon, but I followed him and his career. I'm not going to say I've been a huge fan of him for years. I've followed his career for years. I think this just would be a great moment to have, even if you see Ray Phoenix come out maybe to celebrate with his brother, even if it's very, very briefly before they move on to the next match. So I'm going to go with Penta to win the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Doubt it'll happen, but I'm kind of hoping it will go Penta's way. The fourth match listed is a Sin City Street Fight. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Again, I followed Drew's career for many, many years, met him a couple of times. He was actually on the same plane as I was in it was 2016, just after I saw him perform here in Scotland in Dundee. We flew out to New York a couple of days later, and he ended up being on that flight. We didn't talk to him or anything. We didn't want to disturb him, but uh, uh, because obviously we just met him as well, just at that event. So I'm kind of I'm loving what Drew has done over the last few years. I'm just going to go Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest has gone off the boil a little bit, at least what little I've seen of him, which honestly is just a little bit right now. I'm going to go just Drew McIntyre to win this. Um, I I thought Drew might be mixed in with Punk for WrestleMania. They've got that issue. I think this has got potential to be a really good match. But I'm going to just go with Drew McIntyre. He's one of my favourites currently on the roster, so certainly Drew McIntyre to take the victory in the Sin City Street Fight against Damian Priest. The penultimate match listed for night 2 of WrestleMania 41 is the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship that sees Io Sky defend her championship against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. This one as well, that is kind of difficult. I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan as well. I think she's fantastic. She's got a great gimmick, great look. I know it's kind of not, kind of gimmicky, kind of not. It's kind of her in real life, obviously, the motionless and white stuff. I would honestly pick. I'm going to go pick Io Sky to win. I think I would love it to see her have a WrestleMania moment and retain the championship. As much as I said earlier with the what match I'm looking back here, with the triple threat match, the main event of night 1 about Roman Reigns, Punk, and Seth Rollins, maybe, and I'm sure they'll do a false finish thing at one point where maybe each of them cost the other the victory when they think they hit a big move on the other or finishing move. It's typical in triple threat matches for one wrestler to pin another and then the other opponent come in and break up the pin or submission. I would actually like to see Io Sky do something like that with between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Maybe Ripley takes out Bianca, or maybe they try and take out each other. Io Sky can jump in there, take advantage of that, and win the match. I'd love to see Io Sky actually get a WrestleMania moment. Hopefully, that'll be a good match. It's one of the matches I'm really hoping will be better than I think it will be. Not that to downgrade the women, I just not too convinced. Right, for some reason, I've got this feeling that this might not be the greatest match, but Io Sky, I would like to see retain the Women's World Championship. The last match of Night 2, the main event of Night 2 on April 20th, will be for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defending against John Cena. I did record a couple of versions of it, never really been happy with it, where I talked about John Cena, comparing where he is right now in the lead up to WrestleMania to the video that I did late last year, just after the retirement announcement. I made a video where I laid out what I thought the path to WrestleMania would be for John Cena. And I didn't think, like many people, we didn't think that we would actually get this heel turn from John Cena. I don't think that we really thought we would get it. We have, though, because I, in that video last year, said that we might get Cena versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, with the American hero, kind of marine style of John Cena, going up against the stereotypical foreign heel that WWE has always liked. I know it's a Vince thing, but WWE have always liked to do that. The American hero versus the evil foreign villain. You know, and I think Gunther is a fantastic talent and would be able to get a heck of a match out of John Cena. So maybe that plays into Jay winning the World Heavyweight Championship, that Gunther decides he wants to go for the WWE Championship. And maybe we'll see this match, because I'm going to go John Cena to win this match and win the undisputed WWE Championship. Part of that is because this is his last WrestleMania, and I do hope that we see a genuinely good entrance from a memorable entrance. It's his last WrestleMania. Surely they have to do some kind of special entrance for Cena at WrestleMania. Although saying that, I know this is kind of hedging my bets in a way. I could also see them doing a bit of a minimal entrance, especially with the heel character. I don't think also part of the video I was never happy with. I did say, which he's also said himself a few weeks ago, I don't think they need to change his presentation because he is who he is. It's working, and I think genuinely it would be too much of an in your face type of deal where they go, right, he's now wearing this completely different stuff, he's got completely different entrance music. This is John Cena, a heel. You're supposed to boo him and jeer him and everything like that. I think that would be too much of an in your face and too much of a change in the character of John Cena. Where a large, not large, but certainly a good element of the WWE Universe have always booed Cena. They've never been quite behind him. He's never been my guy, just not my type of wrestler. Honestly, not anything against him personally. He's been fantastic for charities and all that kind of stuff. But absolutely, I hope they do something special. And also, part of why I think that he'll win is because of the record. I do think, again, this is just a bit of fun, really. So if I'm wide off the mark in these results and who I'm choosing to win the matches, then that's fine. But again, as I said in the start, there is a lot of eyes on WWE right now. They have signed a deal with Netflix, which is taking effect in various different countries and territories around the world. Recently, I saw that India has switched to Netflix for WWE programming. They've just signed a deal with Getty Images. Mattel just yesterday, Mattel and WWE put out a press release saying that they've re-signed that deal for Mattel to continue to be WWE's action figure partner. So WWE have all of these deals and sponsorship that we've seen on the ring mat, and they've got all these deals coming into force. WrestleMania is going to be, as I said, and it's normally true, but I think it's especially true right now, that a lot of eyes are going to be on WrestleMania this year. Even more, especially more in terms of the corporate world. A lot of eyes are going to be with advertisers, sponsorship partners, corporate partners. A lot of eyes will be on WrestleMania this year. Now, if he doesn't win it at WrestleMania, I do think that John Cena will win the WWE Championship or a World Championship this year. I think he should. I know WWE like to have those records. That's why they've been in the Guinness Book of Records for the last few years. They've had that partnership as well. I collect them, so I've got a few of them where WWE, like, I think there's a couple of records for uh, Natalia and stuff like that. WWE like to have to be able to boast that. If somebody looks up, for example, the longest world championship reign or the most world championship reigns or some kind of record in professional wrestling, then it comes back to being WWE. That's what they like to have. So I can firmly see that John Cena will win the world championship this year, and I do think the most likely, as I said in that video last year, I think the most likely event where he will win it is WrestleMania. And honestly, I don't think Cody should be ashamed if he does lose the title on Sunday in the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah, it's going to suck as a performer. I'm not a performer, but as a performer, I'm sure his his feeling would be that it would be not great to drop the championship at their biggest event of the year. I mean, I can only start to imagine holding such, the biggest title in the world right now in terms of heavyweight championships, certainly in the men's divisions, you know, possibly the world championship, and being asked to lose it at at the biggest event of the year. That's going to be upsetting. And yeah, Cody's going to be a little bit of a trivia answer, in wrestling quizzes in years to come, which might not be a bad thing because his name will be out there still. Obviously, people will ask who was the first person to win 17 world championships. The answer would be John Cena. In part B, maybe who did he defeat to claim that record? Well, obviously, the answer to part two will be Cody Rhodes. But see, it's John Cena, future Hall of Famer, one of WWE's biggest stars over the last 20 plus years. It's not anybody that really is just an experimental guy that WWE are coming and trying to push and try to make a star, and it's obvious that they're not going to do it. The person's not got the skill, or they're just not getting it, or there's just something that's going to hold them back, and they're not going to reach the level. They're not going to be the main event world champion level of performer that WWE wants them to be. So Cody doesn't need to be ashamed of losing the championship to Cena, which again I think will happen this Sunday at WrestleMania Night 2, April 20th, at the Allegiant Stadium in Nevada. I think Cena will claim that 17th World Championship. And I do sincerely hope as well that he sticks around and we see some good feuds and good matches over the summer, especially maybe again Gunther if he loses the World Heavyweight Championship. I think he can give Cena a really good match. So maybe Gunther is one of those opponents that John Cena wants to face before he retires in December. Will he go out as a heel? Will he go out as a babyface? We don't know. That's a interesting part of it as well. That I was going to cover in that video, but there's not really a point in doing it now. How will Cena's career end? Will it end as a heel? Will it end as a babyface? I can see it happening both ways. Maybe I'll do a video talking about that aspect of it anyway. But certainly, I can see John Cena winning the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I'm actually again looking forward to WrestleMania. It should be a really good event. The Hall of Fame, I'm not going to include that in this. Congratulations to those aren't getting inducted. It's a shame that Lex Luger is not going to be inducted by Sting, it seems. DDP, I met him about 12 years ago. A really, really good guy. I followed Diamond Dallas Page's career since I can remember him coming out with the fabulous Freebirds and Vinny Vegas, and especially the Diamond Stud. I remember him before he was a wrestler. It was an honour to meet him 12 years ago when he did an event here. I was invited to one of the yoga thing that he was doing, but unfortunately I had commitment where I couldn't make it, unfortunately, which was a real shame. But I was able to meet him at the wrestling event. But that said, WrestleMania, them natural disasters and everybody who's going in, congratulations to them. I'm sure they'll enjoy that night. It's going to be something for UK fans to get up and watch it. I think it starts at 6 a.m. Saturday morning, I believe. So certainly there's a lot of stuff to be able to watch, and obviously if you're people are in Las Vegas, there is going to be a tremendous amount of wrestling and wrestling personalities and wrestlers and everybody to go there and meet and to have fun, and so it's a whole happening, as they say. But yeah, looking forward to WrestleMania this year. It's a decent card. I would love to see, I mean, I would never be a fantasy booker or anything, but definitely I think there's potential for some of these matches to be quite good. Mysterio El Grande, Americano, for example, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, um, Hopefully Gunther versus Jey Uso. Obviously Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Again, I could see interference maybe in that one, but I would kind of hope maybe that's not happening. But certainly, it's a decent card. 13 matches will take place over the 2 nights of WrestleMania 41. I think fans should hopefully enjoy it. I think this is one of the events of the year. There's a lot of talk always online about, AEW, which I'm not hugely a fan of that company. But there's a lot of talk about, different styles of wrestling and different things. I would certainly sincerely hope that this year, WrestleMania 41, fans go along, sit in front of their TV, sit at a screening, a watch party, whatever, however you're viewing WrestleMania, you sit there, try and enjoy the event, try and enjoy all the matches. The years of women being the toilet break matches are well over, and I hope we get some good performances by all the performers on the card. Uh, I certainly hope that WrestleMania 41 turns out to be a really good event. Looking forward to watching night one and then night two when I can. It's going to be a good one. I really hope that if we do get a bit of a changing of the guard, I think it'll mix things up. Who knows what will happen over the summer months, but definitely WrestleMania 41 this Saturday and Sunday is promising to be a good one. Hope it lives up to at least some decent expectations, that we're able to all enjoy it and have a lot of discussion over the matches. Yeah, there's going to be some people who like it, some people who won't, some people who will win that people think they shouldn't win, but overall, hope that certainly for the vast, overwhelming, vast majority of wrestling fans, we are able to sit back and enjoy the show. Right, I think WrestleMania 41 should be a good one.